So hello guys, apologies for starting a minute or two late. Let me just shut my door, sorry. Oh, just fell off my chair and all. That wasn't a good start, wasn't it? Sorry guys. So I was just trying to sort some last minute things out and it just goes and suddenly there's time. So firstly, thank you for joining me for my show. I really do appreciate it. Secondly, thank you for all the continued support I've had on my channels the last couple of weeks. Some of the videos I've made have been so many views, so many comments, so many interactions. I'd like to thank everybody for all their interactions, good and bad. I've actually had messages from people who have found my channel as a result of the increased exposure this last couple of weeks, and have messaged me and said, oh, I really enjoy your channel. I wish I'd found it earlier. And I said to them, well, you know, the more people watch them, the more the exposure they get. So, yeah, thank you to everybody who's given me support. I really, really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, it's going to be another slightly shorter show today because I've got 3:30. I've got to make a phone call. I've got to make another phone call dealing with all sorts of weird things, and you don't want to know about that. Anyway, what you probably do want to know about is I have a very special announcement. Now, every week I do put this little logo up the top that says, I can't find it, there we go, that says Smith's Beads, and I always make a point of saying they don't actually sponsor the show, but they do help out the show so much that I can't not mention them. Well, I'm very pleased to announce today that they are actually sponsoring the show. So I need to tell you all about Smith's Beads every single week because they are giving me so much support for this channel, and I really do appreciate it. So let's have a quick look at Smith's Beads. Now, Smith's Beads is a company that I've used quite a few times. I found I really can't fault them. This is why I'm happy to associate with them. Their products are good. I've spoken to Teresa before, and she's pretty much said that she could stock more stuff, but she will only stock good quality stuff. So she'd rather have a smaller inventory of good stuff. And I was having if you want to know the sort of thing that you can get drills from them, you can get accessories, you can get diamond paintings and lots of other stuff, which is not anything to do with diamond painting. For example, I was looking at this today. I've got a friend who's got a birthday coming up, and we do the same thing every year. We say, oh, no, don't bother with a present. Just a little message, say happy birthday, would be great. And then we end up going out and getting a small, inexpensive present. And, you know, who wouldn't want to receive that? I think, you know, for the price, I think that's absolutely fantastic. I also have a discount code which is exclusive to this channel as far as I know. So let me pull this up. I'm so sorry guys, trying to control everything. So if you go to www.smithsbeads.co.uk, have a look around this site. If you find anything you'd like to order, enter the code Penny10 and that will give you a 10% code at checkout. So thank you for Smith's Beads for sponsoring this show. So I'm going to switch cameras. I'm going to try a new camera angle. I'm not having a lot of luck using this overhead camera because obviously the amount it's got to look at. And I've been using a different camera for a different build. So I'll give it a try this week. And it is upside down, but I think that's a slightly better view. So this is the area that I'm working on today. We are still doing word of the day. And I will be mentioning a word of the day at least once, well, I'll try and make it twice, once in the first half an hour and once in the second half an hour. How's that for you guys? And I just realized I forgot to message my friend, although in my defense, she didn't ask me to message her to remind her about the show. So I might just get away with that one today. I got a telling off last week in her own little sweet way for forgetting to wake her up. But we'll see. We'll see if she was expecting it every week or not. So first of all, how has everyone been this week? I've been doing a lot of building and a lot of things. Job hunt is going rather well. I've got 2 really strong leads for jobs. One of them is working for a bus company, well, a coach company. I've never ever worked for coaches before. I've driven coaches, but never actually worked for a coach company. And apparently they're expanding further up north. So they will be looking for new staff. And I worked out it's not, if I can get favourable shifts, it's actually not going to be too expensive for the travel costs. Because as you know, it's all well and good getting a job that earns some money. But if you have to spend most of your wages getting to work, it doesn't really become that viable to do the job, does it? Let's have a look at the chat. So we have Mike Tedstone, first one to comment. Hello, everyone. Hello, Mike Tedstone. And then we've got Build with Adrian. Hi, everyone. Teresa says, hi, Penny. And then she says, hi, everyone. And she says, we love you, Penny. And then she said, I forgot to remind you about calling her too. No, that's all right. I'll if she tells me off, then what I'll do is I'll set a regular timer on my phone. Every Wednesday, 1:30, ring my friend and wake her up. So yeah, so I'm continuing on my wolf today. And I keep vowing to do more and more each week, and then something else gets in the way. And sometimes that's a good excuse. Sometimes it's not really a good excuse. But isn't that life, really? Francis Adams, how are you, my good friend? Not spoke to you for a few weeks now, have I? She says, hi, all. This is another lovely lady who taught me a thing or two about painting back in the days when I used to be on Twitch. I also feel I'm being pushed into Twitch again as well, which I did enjoy my Twitch days, because the community on Twitch was really, really good. Do you know they have this thing on Twitch where you can do a raid? And what it is if you're doing a show and let's say you've got, I don't know, 50 viewers and you want to bring your show to an end, what you can then do is you raid a channel that you like. And what it does is it ends your show and then it pushes you and all of your viewers onto their channel as a viewer. So suddenly they've got an extra 50 viewers. And, you know, you might be, as a new streamer on Twitch, you might find yourself, you're doing a show and you've got maybe 1 or 2 viewers. And then all of a sudden the screen goes all mad and it says so-and-so is raiding your channel. And suddenly you've got 100 odd viewers. And it's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then obviously another day you'll raid their channel. But it's nice. I mean, obviously you will get a certain number of people, you know, you'll get 100 viewers and then you'll slowly see it die down to a more realistic figure where people have, you know, they've come in to watch someone in particular. But that, you know, it's a bit of free exposure for your channel. It's quite good fun. So Francis Adams is doing okay. Chris Campling, how are you? I know you were off on Monday. He says, feeling a bit better, yay. The best thing I heard is, I think you said it as well, was that you had a COVID test and it's not COVID. So that is, I think at the moment, that's a huge sigh of relief, isn't it? You know, I do worry where they're starting to relax the rules a little bit. Some people are perhaps just pushing that a little bit too far, and people are mingling just perhaps a little bit too much, or, you know, or maybe you disagree with that comment. Maybe the best thing is to mingle, you know, and maybe the worst of it is over and let's just get it all finalized quicker. So, are we technically talking politics now when we talk about that? I suppose we're not, are we? Because politics would be, oh, I disagree with how the government are running this. So What I'm doing on this at the moment, there's a couple of symbols that I really do not get on too well with. I'm sorry that this is upside down. Oh, right. This one, number 17, it's the G. And then further up, you've got number 13, you've got a D. And the reason I'm struggling with it is they're both letters which have got a curly side on it. And it's red on a dark color, which I'm not seeing too well. And you just happen to have G's and D's mixed together. So I'm really just having to just take my time a little bit on this and be doubly sure. And with the light bounce, it's quite hard. But I am, on the other hand, enjoying doing a different color. As some of you might agree with me or disagree, doing the same color over and over is can get you know there's a purpose for it, but you're just doing the same thing, and then there's no, once you get like hair where the different colors are coming in, it just gets a little bit more exciting, doesn't it? So, and I've run out of things to say, so I will sing instead. Now, I've had warnings before about my singing. I think, what was it someone said to me? Penny, if you want to lose viewers and subscribers, then carry on singing. But isn't singing a sign of being really happy? Singing and dancing, that's when you know someone's really happy. Which I must say I am. And all thanks to you guys for the support you show me. That's why I'm so happy. I think that's a D, but I think that one isn't. No, that is a D. Oh, these are not my favorite symbols. When you get a G next to a D. So I really want to work hard and get this whole, sorry guys, hit the camera. I really want to work hard and get this corner done. One of the things I like about this is obviously the picture is the foreground. That's the main focus, but the background is fantastic as well, isn't it? I mean, you could take the wolves out of that picture, and then, obviously you'd have the trees and the snow, and that in itself would be a really good picture. So, yeah. So once I get that background, once I get this corner done, and then where do I go from there? Do I just work on the background and then work my way into the middle? Or I think it'll be a lot easier if I work across and down and then leave this corner here for last, because me being right-handed, working and obviously I reaching up so high is quite hard. So, having this bottom bit done last sort of makes it easier towards the end. I remember one I did, I had an absolute obsession with it. I was getting up in the morning, I was doing maybe half an hour, and then I was actually getting up early for work, and that was another wolf one actually. And I was getting home from work, and I was some days I wasn't even eating because I was running upstairs to get the diamond painting done. And it did take a long time, but then see, I'd only done the cheap ones up to that point, and you might buy one for say £5, and it takes you maybe a week of your spare time doing it. And I did this large one, and it was quite an expensive one by comparison. And but I put something like 60 hours it took me to complete. And then when you worked out how much it cost me per hour of actually working on it, I was absolutely startled at how inexpensive it seemed. And these cheaper ones, it was just, it was, if you work them out cost per hour worked on them, they're really not expensive. And yeah, that was good. So I'm gonna, oh no, I just found a new one. Isn't it funny, you think you've done all of the same color and then suddenly you find this big block. There's about 6 drills I've missed out here. So guys, tell me what your favorite subject matter is, and then if it's something that I would enjoy as well, I might look at getting something. Chris Camping says, should have my second in July, second jab. And Teresa says, I love that picture too. Well, you picked it for me because this is still my birthday present. So you've done a really good choice there. As I said, when I got it, I couldn't fault it. It is everything I love in a diamond painting. I like square drills. I don't mind round, but I do prefer the square. I prefer the full rather than the partials, and you can't go wrong with a wolf as a subject matter. So yeah, I think that's all my D's done. Yeah, Teresa says she knew I love wolves. I think everyone knows I love wolves. See, the game that I play on PlayStation a lot, I do love the game, but I don't like the fact that the wolves come and attack me and I have no option but to kill them in self-defense, obviously. And that brings a little bit of sadness to my heart, because if it was me, I'd just love to get off my horse and just cuddle them. But on this particular game, I know it's going to be a really bad idea. And some of the bears I love as well, but, you know, not to the point I'd like to cuddle them. But it's, yeah, it's quite funny. I was doing a bounty target today on Red Dead, and I just got in and I got off my horse and I was just about to lasso this bounty target, and then out of nowhere, this grizzly bear just came and just killed me. And I'm like, how inconvenient that was. Was not my exact words, but not far off. So I like to think I have the character of a wolf. I like to think that people refer to, you know, the most common thing that they refer to wolves in is like lone wolf. And yeah, that suits me. But also I think they're very powerful as a pack animal, aren't they? In the way they work together. And yeah, it just the way that they're very loyal to their pack, and they work together, and everything is done for the good of the pack, not for the individual. And I think that's what people forget about with the wolves, isn't it? And I just realized I've just said something that's probably going to upset someone there, but there we go. See, I don't know whether, I'm going to ask you your guys' advice. I normally do, as you know, a small square. This is what I would consider 2 squares. And I don't know, a lot of people work like that. But where I've tried to sort of help myself with this corner here, because the sticky isn't quite so good there. And when that happens, I tend to find if you build in all the drills around it, that really helps. So that's why I've done an extra square. But I'm finding it's probably a little bit easier to do 2 squares because I've got, you know, more area. I can get rid of more drills in one go. But you have this problem that the more sticky you have exposed, the more you get caught up in it. This is why I look at the largest cut. I mean, I've done them before where like I've had a bit like this and it's all the same. I think it was my R2. I'll just show you this. So my R2D2 that I've done ages ago, you see there's large areas of the same color. And the way I get round to that is to do the checkerboard. So I'm doing every other one. And then I find that even though only half of it is done, your hands then not going to stick to the canvas. But obviously that idea doesn't work when you've got a lot of confetti style. So, but when I get to like this bit here, I might consider opening up more of it in order to do, because I know that they've given me a lot. Although we don't know, once we get there, that could actually be 50 Shades of Blue for all I know. But we'll sort of evaluate it. But yeah, on the one hand, I can see there's an advantage to doing more, a larger area. And I've just noticed a couple more of the D's that I missed. And it feels like I'm making more progression a little bit faster. To me, this isn't a speed contest, but you like to know that you're making some progress. So, you know, I've not heard from my friend regarding diamond painting. He started some. That was really fun. I think I told you about him. I gave him a diamond painting because he was considering. I know he's not the richest person in the world, and he said he was going to buy some to try out. And I said, well, rather than spending your money trying out something you don't know if you'll like it, here's a couple. Give it a go. And he left mine just before midnight. And I kind of assumed he was going to go home, go to bed, get up and work the next day. He messaged me at 3 a.m. with photos going, I can't put it down. I'm addicted to it. And I said, oh, I thought you might be. Just had a feeling. But that's how it gets you, though, isn't it? So let me change the words at the bottom just to make it less boring. There we go. I'm sure reading the same thing over and over is getting a little bit tiresome, isn't it? So, yeah, so another huge announcement that I have, which only came up this morning. I need to speak to a chappie about a job. I think I mentioned it. Did I mention it at the beginning of the show? The way it came about, there's a Facebook group for coach driving jobs and this, that, and the other. And I joined that long ago because when I was an agency driver, obviously you always on the lookout for your next contract. And I just hadn't come off the site. And someone had put that they're after a coach driver to work 2 days a week, running a coach from Bradford to London. And I thought, well, I don't know where it's going to end up, but, you know, you might end up coming back to depot. But if it's 2 consecutive days, I could travel down on the train or the coach, find a cheap hostel or something, do my 2 days work, come home. It's not a king's ransom, but it's money, isn't it? So I sent him a message saying I'm interested. And then he messaged me back. He says, look, he goes, I'm in bed because I've done a night shift. Can you ring me at 3:30? He says, we're actually got a new route starting next week. And it's based in Newcastle. And I thought, well, Newcastle's a lot easier to get to from than Bradford. So I said, yeah, fine, I'll give him a call. And that's all I really know. As apparently this company is expanding so quickly, they can't keep up. And, you know, they're expanding faster than they can recruit the drivers for it. So I said, yeah, fine. And it might be an overnight coach with dual drivers. So I said, well, I've got someone else I know might possibly be interested. So I just gave him a quick text message just before the show. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be exciting if he got the job as well? And I'm driving from Newcastle to wherever we go, with a really good friend. I thought, what could be a better job than that? Don't know if he's interested, but what I'm going to try and push for is to have, I don't mind when my days off are, but I'd rather have, normally I like separate days off. But if it's something where you've got to travel for the job and then you've got to stay there all week, I might be sort of asking for 2 days off together. And I've worked in Newcastle before, so I know a couple of places I can stay. So, and then once you're there, obviously you look for something a little bit more permanently. But if I'm going down there with a friend, then maybe we can rent a little cheap room and then split the cost between us, so the outlay won't be too high then. So but yeah, I when I had this problem with this job, I kind of wanted to turn my back on buses. I've done that before and I ended up coming back, and part of me is saying, look, it's walk away, and then part of me is saying, no, stick with it. And it looks like, although I might be trying to give up the buses are trying not to give up on me. So what's going on with this? Twice I've just put this drill in, and as I placed it, it kind of jumped up onto the next one. There we go. So let me just check that, because I just got a buzz. Sorry, that is a message regarding job. So sorry, all finished now. I have remembered, I did I helped Adrian with a show yesterday. I feel terrible because I tried to follow a bit of a code, and I tried to be professional and as much as I can, and I left the volume up on my phone, didn't I? And I had a message come through and I responded to it, and I totally forgot that basically what everybody was hearing through my microphone was as I was tapping. And I'm like, oh no, I forgot to. So I did remember to turn the volume down on my phone today. So it just vibrates, but it's just a shame that these, I could get calls and messages that I don't really want to leave until 3:30, just in case. And that particular one was one that I didn't want to leave. So not saying you guys aren't important, because you are. So what's everyone been up to today? Anything exciting, or is it just a normal? Because Wednesday's referred to as hump day, isn't it? Which sounds extremely dull. And I suppose for some people it is, because it's neither the start of the week nor the end. And yeah, that's just started to make that, just getting that couple of colours in there. It seems to have so Teresa says some things can be more important. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things it's not so much the actual task that's important, it's the timing. I could say, oh, I'll leave it till later on, but it might be something that needs acting on now. I've also got another job lead at a place I've been to before, but with an agency that I've never worked at there before. I've worked for the agency, and they like my work, and this particular contract know me, and they like my work, so I've gone for it. So what I'm working on, I'm afraid I'm still working on my wolves, which I absolutely love, but I am trying to work more on it. It's my 50 by 40. This is my birthday present I got from Smith's Beads, which I'm extremely grateful for. But I tried starting in a little bit of a different place. And then I started opening up another square, which I'm really not sure if that was the best idea. I think it was a good idea, but I wouldn't say it would work for every single one. But I did say last week, because I'm struggling to sit down, and I'm one of these that if I had like 5 minutes, I could do 5 minutes on it. If I had 2 hours, I could do 2 hours. But if I don't think I'm going to complete an entire square, I'll probably look at it and go, I haven't got time to finish the square, and I end up not even starting it. So I thought, if I cut these squares in half, so instead of working on this much at a time, I'm going to be working on that much. I can always do 2 or 3 squares, but I'll be more inclined to work on it if I've got just a short bit of time. I could get up in the morning, have my cup of coffee, do a little bit of diamond painting for half an hour. And obviously there are exceptions, but I think most people could probably manage that. and I certainly could anyway. I won't criticize anyone who doesn't have time. I know some people don't, but we are all individuals, aren't we? But for me personally, I could take half an hour, and if I find that I've got 2 hours, I could work on more squares. So Danielle Boudreau, she says, good morning, all you beautiful peeps. And she knows that's all I want to hear on a Wednesday. And that makes me so happy. And then what painting are you working on, Penny? So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a promise to you guys. What I used to do when I started on the agency, every bus that I drive, I take a photo of it. And just for my own little collection, really, just saying, oh, I've driven that route and I've driven that route. If I get offered and take this job, see, the other thing I've been talking about is turning one of my buses into a diamond painting, a big one. This idea sort of came from there's a really lovely Route Master bus going around on a diamond painting. It's got, I think they've made the background a little bit more black and white, but kept the bus color, and it really stands out really, really nicely. And so I was thinking about turning one of my bus pictures into a diamond painting, and Smith Speeds had a little look, and they did a little draft of one, and the results were absolutely stunning. And so what I might do is if I get this job and I take it and I'm happy enough with it, I will take a picture of my coach, I will get it turned into a diamond painting, and I will do it on my show. How does that grab you guys? And then we can see my bus developing before your very eyes. And of course, the thing is, because if I'm going to be working away, every time I've worked away, I've always found that obviously I've not got many. Like, for example, if I'm in a hotel, there isn't really much to do. And that means I get a lot more diamond painting done because I can't do much else. So obviously what I can do is take my diamond paintings with me, and then when I finish work, what I'm actually pushing for is either 2 regular days off, or doing a 10-day fortnight, but do like 10 consecutive days and then have 4 days off, well, nights. And then it means that most things I do will get done on a fortnightly basis rather than a weekly. But 5 on 2 off would be ideal, and then have the same days off each week. Not sure if did I ever tell you guys the what I used to do to get Wednesdays off. I do kind of feel bad about it, but when I go into a new contract, I used to say, look, I'm quite happy to work weekends. I really need Wednesdays off because I look after my sick mother, and we can't get a carer for her on a Wednesday. And then most of the time they're like, oh, yeah, that's fine, but are you prepared to work weekends? I'm like, yeah, more than happy to work weekends. So usually that's always worked. But obviously coming up to Scotland, I couldn't use that excuse. So the way I managed to get my Wednesdays off in Glasgow was by saying, can I have Wednesdays off? And in return, I'm happy to do a 6-day week. And they're like, yes, no problems. But most bus companies, it's the problem they have is getting people work on weekends, because for some reason people don't want to work weekends. I know it's different preferences, but Let's do a catch up on the chat. Danielle Boudreau, beautiful wolf. Yeah, I don't know why I love wolves. It must be the character of them, because why else would I love a creature that growls at you all the time, and given the chance, it'll rip your face off? I don't know. Maybe that's me. Danielle Boudreau says, I like that bus idea. Yeah. Let me have a little look on my phone. Let me catch up with the chat. I love that idea. And Teresa says that will be another good painting. So unfortunately, my gallery in my phone fills up with all sorts of junk. So and I've got over a year's worth of pictures. Oh God, October, God, I've really got to go back a long way. July, May, July previous year. Right, I think I'm nearly there, guys. Right, so this is my 229 bus service. And I think that's the one we've rendered into a diamond painting. So that was that's the first bus I drove as an agency driver. Then they asked me to do a different route. And it's the 301 I did. And I liked that one because it was a nighttime picture. So obviously going from daytime picture to a nighttime picture. Now the third one I did take a picture. Now this one is at the O2 Centre in Greenwich. And that's the first hybrid I drove. Unfortunately, it's an old hybrid and it's not as well maintained as it could be. And I drove that for about an hour, and then all of a sudden the engine cut out, and I'm like, I can't get it started again. And I ended up ringing them up and saying, I can't get the engine started. And they said, it's a hybrid, you idiot. The engine's meant to cut out. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know that, because I'd had no types training on it. And the engine was, because if the battery's quite low, the engine won't cut, because obviously there won't be enough battery to restart the engine. So yeah, I had a bit of a panic with that one. And I could see a few of you going, yeah, that sounds like Penny. So this is actually the diamond painting that I was talking about. I mean, it's absolutely amazing because it's Route Master. I do love me Route Master. I've got a big interest in Route Masters. We see where they've made the background a little bit more black and white, so it really makes the bus stand out. So there was another, I think it's this one. Yes, so this one is a route that I've done, but that particular bus wasn't mine, because I said, I forgot to take a picture. I'm just going to take a picture of your bus. So that's the 99 to Bexley Heath. And this is a 401 that I was doing at the time. That's actually parked next to the 99. So I was doing that one. I took a picture of, and I just jumped out and did the 99. So then the next place, I actually forgot to take pictures of all my buses. But there's one of them. This is 386 to Blackheath Village. Now that's a funny place, because where the terminus is, no one ever lets you out. You have to leave 5 minutes early just to be 5 minutes late. It's absolutely terrible. And then when I came and worked for Dartford, there's some of the less glamorous buses that I've done. Although I did get one really good picture. There's another one that's not so good picture, but that's the B service. And then I don't know why, but I took a picture of one of the Newport buses. So that was before pre-agency days. But funnily enough, one of my favorite pictures I managed to take of one of my least favourite buses. And I can't find it, guys, so I do apologise. There we are. And there it is. I think that's an absolutely wonderful picture. It just, without warning, started to snow. And that was like 10 minutes after it started to snow. And I even like the little white swooshes, which is the snow. It was a little bit windy and snowy. But that day caught me out. I wasn't expecting the snow, so I didn't take scarves and hats with me. So, yeah, I was a little bit cold that day, and it did catch me out. Right, so where are we up to? So, I got a fair old bit of this done, I think, today. So, if I took a picture of a coach and did that coach, would you guys be interested in that? Another idea I had was to take a picture of the bus. Let's say, for example, I don't know where I'll be going, but let's say I'm doing Newcastle to London. So get a big background, put a picture of my bus in the middle, get lots of pictures of, say, London, and then put them all around as the background at the bottom, and then pictures various sites in Newcastle, put them in the background around the top. So you've got my my bus surrounded by Photoshop landmarks. I wonder if that'd be a good picture. Obviously, I'd have to copyright it, because if it was a really good idea, then I might be able to sell it and get royalties for it, and then never have to drive another bus again in my life. So, yeah. This is the thing. We always have to come up with new things, don't we? Otherwise, the world just gets a little bit samey and boring, doesn't it? So let's change my banner again, shall we? So, oh, I just noticed a spelling mistake. There you go. Have a look at that banner, guys. See if you spot the spelling mistake, which was not done on purpose. And I talked earlier on about trying to be professional, and now I've got banners with spelling mistakes in them. Do you know, I've got another patch where the glue isn't so good. I think it's me, because it's both times it's around the edge, isn't it? It's just down there where the edge of the square was, and this one is down here where the edge of the square is. I think I've obviously, look, I've touched that with something that's pulled the sticky off. So I don't think it's the fault of the painting. I think it's me. But do you think the baby wipe trick might work with that? I know there's a trick where if you accidentally touch your diamond painting with a piece of paper and you pull the paper away and you get some of the paper stuck, you can wipe it away with a baby wipe. And I remember when I tried that for the first time, I really could not see how that on earth was going to work, you know, wiping it with a cleaning thing. But I was desperate enough to give it a go, and it was absolutely amazing, and it was like it restored the glue. So I wonder if maybe, do you think it's worth trying a baby wipe on this to just try and restore? Because I don't think, you think about it, the way that the glue is done on these, I don't think it's worn the actual glue away, because it's a little fairly thick bit of tape. So I wonder if there's actually something on it. So by doing the baby wipe, it might just clean off whatever's on top of it. So yeah, Francis has found the spelling mistake, enter. So I put, after visiting Smithspeeds at www.smithspeeds. Oh, I've two actually. Oh, I'm gonna have to change that, guys. I'm so sorry. That's really, really bad, isn't it? Because I've spelt the website wrong. As oh, do you know what? We've lost that banner because I've accidentally deleted it. Oh, disaster of a show today, isn't it? But yeah, I'd spelt the website wrong as well. And I think once you spelt the website wrong, that's a really big one, because people can't go to the website of a company that's really helping me out. So right, what are we doing? Quarter three. Let's do the J's next, shall we? I think the J, I might be wrong, but I think they're a little bit of a lighter colour. Yeah. So that might just add a little tiny bit of, oops. Yeah, don't ever pour your drills into your tray from a great height, guys, because that's what happens. How many times have I done that? No, it's a very similar colour, but it's adding contrast. And this is a J I missed out, a G I missed out from earlier. So I have nothing to do with diamond painting, but I have decided to do another show on Friday. As some of you might know, I have a bit of a catch up to do on my Spitfire, and I saw that there was a gap. One of the regular streamers, he's got Friday off for some reason. I can't remember now why, but he won't be on Friday. So I thought, well, I'll do a little bit more on my Spitfire. I did try to hammer it and get as much done as I can, and that's when I discovered that my desk is really not at a good height for what I do stand up working. It's actually quite bearable for diamond painting because I'm sitting in a chair, but it's set a little bit too low to stand up and work. And doing 7 issues, it was with the bending over, it's just hurting my back a little bit. And then I tried to do another 5 issues the next day, and I had to stop after 4 because it really was hurting. But then I didn't stream the following day, and then I streamed on the Sunday, and obviously we're giving my back a bit of a rest and not doing as much. It really did help. So I think Friday I said I want to do 2 issues, and I was sort of chatting to the guest that I've got planned, and I said I'm just planning on 2 issues, but I do want to get the next part of the fuselage done. And he says, well, if you want to get the fuselage done, you're going to have to do 3 issues, but they are rather simple issues. So I said, okay, fine. So I'll give that a go, and we'll see how we get on. But it really is starting to progress now. But that's the way that these models, a lot of things go. You start work on them, and then they make quite a lot of progression, and then they continue to grow, but not really at the same rate. And then all of a sudden they shoot up again. And I think the Spitfire is suffered with, because they gave us these wing pieces, which just made it triple in size literally overnight. Then adding details to the wings then meant that obviously it's not growing at quite the same rate. And now it's starting to grow again. So that's nice. So bear with me while I just remove my glasses to get a close look. Let's do number 8. Number 8 being nowhere on the sheet, can't find it. 169. There you go. That's a little bit of a lighter grey. I think it's going to blend these 2 parts together. I want to find the ear. Once I work out, I think the ear is going to be there, because that looks like the actual, what do you call the hole in your ears that all the sound goes in and you listen to. But that black part there looks like it's that part there. So I think the ear is going to work up this way. So I might just try and bring these 2 squares together and get that in. And then we'll have a body part then, won't we? Yeah, I can see it's putting the greys next to sort of the pinky purpley part drills. Oh, Yeah. So Teresa says, on mine, I have a small bottle of glue, which we sell. They might come in handy for small areas. Mike, could you do me a favor and could you give me a link to that, please? I would sit and look for it, but obviously it's if it takes me a while to find it, then it's going to be a show all about doing a really bad web search. And I just like making Mike work. I mean, I know he's got more than enough to do already, but you know. So you can post a link in the chat if you wish. I don't mind. I think we've got the rights to do that on the channel. So right, I've got about 8 minutes till we've done an hour. So I'll do this color, maybe one more, and then I'll start winding the show down. And I have to, you know, I have to wind the show down over a large period of time. There is the link. Let me try and find that actually on YouTube. The links don't actually work on the streaming software. So I actually have to go into the actual show on YouTube. This is terrible. I actually don't watch my own show. Streaming software. So let's have a look. Oh, it's just PVA glue, is it? I didn't know that. It's as simple as that. So let's have a look at that. So 10mm PVA glue, 70p. Going right up to 10 of them for, wow, that's really cheap actually. If you buy 10 of them, that's really not 100mm for £3. That's not a bad price. That's a saving of about £4. But then it's the cost of the materials that you're paying for most, isn't it? And all the packaging. So, but yeah, so there you go, 70p. That's I would imagine that that's a really good item to do, to just pop in. Obviously, if you bought that on its own, by the time you've added the postage, that's going to get quite a serious price. But if you're ordering something else, maybe if I pop that in the order for my grey dog as well, it just kind of absorbs the cost then a bit, doesn't it? And don't forget, penny 10, you get 10% off, so it's 63p a bottle. Right, 414 is this is another symbol I struggle with. My eyesight. I really wish I don't think diamond painting existed then, but I really wish I was doing this when I was like a teenager, when my eyesight was pinpoint sharp. My mum used to call me a lot when she'd go, oh, can you help? I've dropped a needle. Can you see if you can find it? And I go, there it is. And I could find it, no problems. And my eyesight is averaged out by now, isn't it? Getting this symbol confused with another one. There we go, that's fine. Right, so I'll finish up with what I think is the pi symbol. Right, and that being this is the trouble with lots of colors is fantastic, but there's more symbols to look through. Here, 646. Another grey. Another grey. Who could have imagined greys would be so much fun? So you've got kind of it's kind of a grey purple coming into a bit greeny, coming into greys, and it's the combination of mixing two colors together. So as you know, if you place you know, a red is a red. And then if you place a red next to a white, it creates a completely different illusion than if you place a red next to a black, for example. That's extreme examples, but when you put, I mean, it's all these different shades of color, and then when you then combine them with others, can you imagine the has anyone got a calculator and can actually work out the possibilities? And then you've got putting it like if you had a red with a black on one side and a white on the other. I don't think that's actually doable, is it? I think that would be an awful color choice. But a black, a white, and a black, a grey, and a white would work really well, and that would have a completely different effect. Right, so 646. I thought there were more of this one. I must have been wrong. Okay, so let's finish up then with one more colour, and then we'll start having a bit of a chit chat, more than we are at the moment. So, sorry, head really close, glasses off. Right. 823, and that looks like it's going to be a kind of a blue. Let's see if I'm right. It is a blue. 2, 3. So this is going to be mostly just a few specks coming down here, but this is obviously where the background is sort of mingling with the wolf. Not so much a reflection, but oh, look at that. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't see that. But where I'm putting blues in the middle of the greys and the browns. Another thing I now regret is not doing more art as a kid. I used to actively avoid art. I couldn't draw. I had no idea about colour. And I didn't realise how important it would become in my later life. So we have Love Minis. What's going on here? So same as I'm doing every Wednesday, really. I'm doing me Wolf Diamond painting. And this is a little joke that we have because Love Minis is in a different time zone from me. She says, "Good morning, future." And sometimes she'll say, "Oh, what does the future hold?" And I'll go, "Not an awful lot more than the past." But we, another thing I think I've said on one or two occasions is that at least if the world comes to an end, she'll get 6 hours more than me. So, but yeah, we were saying earlier on, Love Minis, I wasn't sure if I was in trouble because I didn't ring you to wake you up. Now, I didn't do that last week because I forgot, and you told me off in your own little subtle way, and I really wasn't sure if I should have woken you up. So I didn't wake you up, but then again, I wasn't actually asked to, so I didn't know if I'd be in trouble or not. But here you are. I also said, and I do apologize, we're going to be closing the show pretty soon. I have to do a couple of phone calls, one of which is to do with driving a new coach route, which begins next week. So the only icky bit that they might not like is they do what they call a remote sign-on, which isn't the most popular thing, but they pay fuel costs to your start point. And they said because my start point is so far away, they won't pay me petrol. Now I've gone for jobs before where that is their system, and you know what it's like with computers and things. You can't do things outside of the system, but at the same time they're not prepared to pay what the system says they should be paying. You know, if it's a 10-mile trip to work, then it'd be like, I don't know, £4.50 worth of fuel. If it's a 100-mile trip, they're not prepared to pay you like £445. And because they can't change the system to pay 0 pence per mile, they then can't offer you the work because they can't go in and change the system. So that's a little thing that I've got to work around, but I'm pretty sure it can be worked around. Like I say, I'm looking at this hostel in Newcastle. I stayed there before, and what I'd be looking at doing is booking this place for like 5 days a week, and then maybe they could, if they have to then pay you mileage, maybe they could pay me the mileage from the hostel, which would probably actually cover my costs for the week, for the travel costs. Right, guys, so I'm going to stop there. I'm sorry it's not a big progression, but I think I have done a lot more. I really am going to go for this cutting these squares down a bit, because as I said, sometimes you look at it and you think, I haven't got time to do the whole square, so I won't do any squares at all. Whereas if I cut these squares down, you know, if I've got time to do 4 squares, well, at least I can do 4 squares. But, you know, I'll try and get a square or 2 done a bit more often. That's often been my issue. You know, I haven't got time to do it all. So I'll end up not doing any. So, hello, there's me. So, yeah, guys, if there's anything you want to bring up. So Teresa says, have I done the word of the day yet? Yes, I have definitely mentioned the word of the day at least once. Absolutely promise you that. So, Love Minnie says, got her second jab, hurt all over. Now, that is something that I've heard of an awful lot from people, that their second jab hurts at the actual job site. They just wear jab site, just around that area. And I'm led to believe that the older you are, the more likely it is to hurt. And that sounds like I'm putting people off. But I'm not intending to. And I think that's probably more to do with younger people's skin and muscles are a bit more resilient to things. But not everybody who's older, it hurts, and not everybody who's younger doesn't hurt. But I'm just told that's I don't know if that's a theory or not. But Love Minis, of course you are trouble, LOL. Yeah, I get it in one from you and one from Mike. And as I say, as Teresa says, have you done word of the day yet? Had to leave the room to take the dog out. Well, that's more important, isn't it? We talked about importance earlier on. Taking the dog out is extremely important. I think Danielle Boudreau will hopefully support me on that one. Dogs are extremely important. Yeah, guys, so let's do the schedule for the week. Let me just pop. Oh, I've lost my screens now. Right. Actually, I'm not going to show the schedule because I think sometimes seeing it can confuse you guys with all the colors. So let me just pull my light down a bit, because I've got a monitor in front of me, and I've got monitors just above, but to left and right. And obviously I have my light where it's good working position, but it blocks the monitor. So excuse no light for the moment. So tonight at 8 o'clock, we have Build with Adrian doing the Partwork show, Spitfire issue 66 and Terminator issue 116. Now, he updated this prior to today, and I know that he was going to the shops to get the issue, I believe, today, because today's the release date. So he hasn't updated it. It's still got the question mark. So I don't know if he's doing Terminator, but hopefully he is. That's 5 issues from completion. That's amazing. So Thursday we have nothing on the spreadsheet, but I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate. It's first of the month tomorrow, isn't it? Friday, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow, first of the month, 1st of July. Where's all the last year and a half gone? Friday, I am going to be doing excuse me one sec. Friday, I'm going to be doing a bit more of my Spitfire. I'm only doing 3 issues, issues 61, 62, 63. Now, I have put 6 o'clock. Why have I put 6 o'clock? Because I'm pretty sure it's 8 o'clock I was going to do it. Yes. Sorry, guys. That is a mistake on the spreadsheet, and that is entirely my fault because I am responsible for my own listing. So let me change that to 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock on Friday, I will be doing Spitfire issue 61, 62, 63. Now, let me get my cursor. I can't find my cursor. So Adrian has just confirmed he does have issue 166 of the Terminator. So he will be doing 66 Spitfire and 116 for the Terminator tonight. So Saturday, a change to the schedule. We have Chris Campling is doing issue 113, 114 of the Terminator, and that's on his channel, and that also gets broadcast on Chris Campling's channel. If you remember, he was supposed to do that on Monday, but he wasn't well. So Chris very kindly did what he was going to do on Saturday on the Monday, which then pushes Chris Campling back to Saturday. And that's why, one of the many reasons why I think those two are good team, actually, because when there's a problem with one, the other one can step in and just work a little bit harder and just, right. Sunday, the 4th of June, we do not have anything on the spreadsheet. And then on Monday, the 5th, we have Chris Davis building the Ecto 1 stages 19 to 20. And that will also be going out on Chris Campling's channel. And there is nothing planned for Tuesday as it stands. Adrian, isn't that normally you on a Tuesday? So maybe he's just not updated it yet. And then that takes us to next Wednesday at 2 o'clock, where we'll be doing another issue of the Diamond Painting Show. Now, I want to ask you guys something. When we first did this show, we did it at 1 o'clock, and then we moved it to 2 o'clock. We did consult with you guys saying, are you okay for doing it 2 o'clock? And I think 2 o'clock is a preferable time for me. What I'd like to do, and I'd like to ask you to post comments after the live build, because then they will appear in the comments. Are you happy with a 2 p.m. British time? I think one of the reasons we moved it to 2 o'clock was to also give the Americans an extra hour in bed, so they didn't have to get up so early. Would you guys rather have a 1 o'clock show, which is a little bit more lunchy, or stick with 2 o'clock and have it a bit more after lunchy and just prior to the kids coming home from school and all the things that happen with 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I'll be honest with you, I do prefer the 2 o'clock slot myself, but 1 o'clock is most achievable. But I'll listen to you guys. Obviously, I'm broadcasting for you guys. If you need to make sorry, I haven't called the comment out yet, but I've just seen a comment. It's just put me off my stride. Not because in a negative way, but it just, when comments come up, my brain kind of starts to process it, and it kind of converts that into me talking on the stream. So yeah, 2 o'clock is a great time for me. But equally, I can do 1 o'clock. You guys help dictate the stream because, I'll do the show when I want to do it. But if no one's watching it, then what's the point in doing the show? It's a two-way partnership. I enjoy broadcasting, and I like to think you guys enjoy watching. Mike Tedstone, he's put 24-hour live stream. Now, I have genuinely thought of a 24-hour live stream, and I have done a 24-hour live stream with painting, and actually it was fun. No, Mike, you're not going to get banned from commenting. Sorry, my comment probably came out wrong there. It was I was processing it as, I'll give you a little bit of I cheat a little bit. Obviously, I'm reading the comments before I bring them up on the screen, because sometimes I have to think how I'm going to, I want the whole stream to flow. So obviously I want to try and bring the topic into what I'm about to talk about. And that's what I mean. And it was, at that particular time, it was like, yes, 24 hour. And it was like almost dancing with joy at the thought of doing another 24-hour stream. And I'd forgotten that I'd done one before. And I have said that I would do another one. But it was quite funny because I did it from midnight to midnight because it was a birthday stream. So I did it from the minute my birthday started, and we had fun and games, and we had competitions. We had a couple of other companies that helped me out with some gifts, and we had 2 competitions going. One was a raffle. One was guessing a song, but there was absolutely no clues. And then I was sort of giving a little clue here and there, because the software that we were using, it has like a jukebox, and the winner was the one who actually requested that particular song. And it was it was a really good night. But what I found especially funny was, if you do painting, I would guess most people who paint things probably don't realize how many paints they own. It probably 2 or 3 times more paint than you think you own. Now, I started off with a big clear desk. I had loads of working room, and then I was getting my paints out and I was using them, and I was putting the paint down, and I was getting the next one. Well, by the time the 24-hour stream finished, I literally had that much working space left on my desk where I had all these paints out, and I'm like, I didn't know I owned this number of paints. But yes, a 24-hour stream. I don't know when and how to do it. I'd like to try and take advantage and do it for a charity. And maybe, because the last stream I did, I actually raised £54, which I thought for a small streamer was very good. And what I said was, every bit of money that I make from Twitch during this 24-hour stream will go straight to this particular charity. It was a friend of mine. It was I can't remember the name of the charity, but it was to raise awareness of the charity was started up because some kid had got asthma or something, and it had gone undiagnosed or something, and he ended up dying quite literally because nobody knew what to do. And it was one of those things where if people had known what to do, he would probably be alive today. And it was a charity that she supported, and she was very passionate about. And I said, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. And what I did is I looked at all my analytics and everything, and I'd seen how much money I'd made on that stream. So I gave her that much money. And then obviously about 2 months later, Twitch had paid me, and obviously I got my money back. And I'd like to do something else again. Now, the stage I'm at my channel, there is no way of making money because it just doesn't allow. Once I hit a certain number of subscribers, I can do things like super chats and stuff like that. And then obviously I could then do a 24-hour stream, and I could beg people to do super chats and things like that, because all that money would go to charity. But I'm really keen on doing something and someone else can benefit, such as a charity. And the hardest bit about doing something for charity is deciding which charity, because there's so many worthwhile charities out there. There's a couple of odd ones, but 99% of charities are so worthwhile. And I know that some of you guys will be sitting there thinking of certain charities right now that you will feel extremely passionate about. So maybe I could do a 24-hour stream trying to raise some money for charity. Maybe we could have a little fun contest where the winner of that contest decides which charity half of the money goes to. So we get a charity that I'll decide on, and then if we raised, I don't know, £100, half of the £50 would go to a charity of my choice, and then £50 would go to a charity of somebody else's choice. And I think that would be, I know a lot of you would be keen to win a competition where you choose where the money is donated to, because that's a win for you as well. So your 24-hour stream, yeah, most definitely. It's something that I'm going to have to look into. I've done it before. What's quite funny is that sort of hours 18 to about 21 is where my tiredness hits a peak and I get quite grumpy. And I can remember on this stream I was getting really frustrated with this model that I was painting. It wasn't that it was difficult, it was just I was tired. And I'm just like, stuff it, right, that's it, it's going over there, I'm starting on a new one. And that's what I ended up doing. And then as I get towards the end, and you know, when you get sort of, you're really, really tired and you can hardly keep your eyes open, and then all of a sudden you're awake. And I think it's sort of about 9-10 o'clock at night, which is when I would be very active anyway. My body was like, okay, I'm a little bit more awake now. And then off I went, and it just, or maybe the fact that I just changed, I changed the model, maybe that, you know, gave me a bit of interest. But yeah, so a couple of things to comment on then. What size diamond painting do you think I could do in 24 hours? I reckon we're looking at a smaller one. But yeah, maybe we could start a diamond painting. Maybe Smith's Bees could work with me, and we'll find, I don't know, maybe we could get you guys to submit some pictures and we'll turn that into a custom, and we'll do that. Maybe we could run a little competition. The winner gets the diamond painting, 10 by 10. Yeah. Now, see, they say Mike doesn't pick on me, or Mike says he doesn't pick on me. What he's basically saying there is I natter for so long, that's all I'd manage in 24 hours. So I'd like to think I could do a 10 by 10 in about an hour and a half. So that only gives me about a 20 by 20, doesn't it? So sorry, I was just checking my buzzers. Right, guys. So yeah, well, look, this is an idea that we can talk about. When can we do it? When would be a good time? You know, last time I did the 24-hour stream, it was for my birthday, and my birthday's not for another 10 months. So maybe we could do, it will be my 50th birthday next time. I keep referring to myself as old. And I think I'm, no, not old, older. Okay, you're right. Mike, you just let yourself off there. You didn't say I had to take the full 24 hours. Yeah. I would like to do, see, you know me, guys, I don't really like these 20 by 30 so much. You just really can't get the detail in. A 50 by 40 would probably, obviously, I would say as an average, it takes me twice as long on stream because I'm talking and doing things. But last time I did I forget what size it was. I think it was a 50 by 40. It's about 40 hours worth of diamond painting. So we'd be looking at getting maybe a third done on a 24-hour stream. So maybe if we did a 40 by 40, 40 by 30, with a nice simple pattern, something that doesn't have to be, obviously you get some of these things, like if I did a bus, there's so much detail in the bus. If you brought it down to a 20 by 30 or something, it's just going to look awful. Flowers might be a good idea because you got all the different colors. And they don't seem to lose the detail so much, but then you've got exceptions to all the rules. Right, so I'm going to catch up on the chat, and then I'm going to wind up the show, and I can't remember where the last chat was, so I'll go for one that I do remember. Teresa, have you done word of the day yet? Yes, I have done word of the day. So you guys have got until I reach the end of the chat to come up with the end of the day. Otherwise, I will tell you what it is. Teresa, I had to leave. I remember reading this now. Mike Tedstone, I knew you were going to drink me in. I don't pick on you. No, never. Most definitely, I do have that issue. Mike Tedstone, 24-hour live stream. 2 p.m. is fine. I think 2 p.m. is a good time. We've kind of established this show at 2 p.m. now, haven't we? And if we go changing it, people have got to adjust. And I think if there was going to be any adjustment, it would be later rather than earlier. But I think doing it any later than 2 could cause more problems than they solve. So am I going to get banned from commenting? Never, Mike, never. Because your comments, I think of you as one step down from a co-host. The only thing you could do now is come on the show, and then you'd be a proper co-host. So 24/7. Would love to see you dancing for joy. I do some good dances. See, I can dance. See, I can do it. There are a few worthwhile charities going on, and I know you guys sponsor one as well. Do you still sponsor? I know you were associated with one. So, that's one I would consider. Mike Tedstone, 10 by 10. Teresa, we can have a look. Mike Tedstone says, no, you would bet a 10 by 10 in 24 hours. I think you're typing too quickly, Mike. You didn't say it had to take the full 24 hours. How about doing a painting by numbers? Right. The problem I've got I've called this a paint with diamond show. And one of the issues I've got is if I started to do other crafts, I'm worried that I would get hooked on those other crafts so much. And it's like I don't really get enough hours in the day to do diamond painting. And I haven't tired of diamond painting. If the unforgivable ever happens and I got tired of doing diamond painting, then I might look at paint by numbers or something else. But one of the things I love about this is it's completely different from my other hobbies. Paint by numbers is painting, and I do painting and models. So it kind of ties them all in, whereas this is just completely different. So it's on a different spectrum. So Mike Tedstone, bus, snow, Newcastle, Bristol. Now, I did begin that thinking he was giving me ideas for diamond painting for a charity show, but then I just realised that he's guessing word of the day, your sidekick. Did I actually say Bristol on the show today? I think that's one of the few words I didn't say, isn't it? So Teresa said, yes, we're still supporting them. So give www.smithspeeds.co.uk a look. And I believe that information is still on the website somewhere, isn't it? But I'll tell you what, why not go and have a look at the website to prove me wrong and then have a look. So Teresa says, I loved your little dance. So that is the end of the show, guys. And the word of the day was dancing, which I think is one of the few words Mike didn't say today, wasn't it? So yeah, word of the day was dancing. And when we came up with that word, what was going through my mind was talking about the PlayStation game, because one of the challenges is to dance with your band for 2 minutes, and I thought, I'll be able to incorporate that, but actually I actually managed to bring it in twice without mentioning Red Dead Redemption. So fantastic. So, guys, thank you again for a wonderful show. I'm sorry I've cut it down a little bit short, but as I say, I've got to ring someone at 3:30, which is another 4 minutes. And hopefully in 5 minutes, I'll have a job. And And not only have I got a job, at the moment, I'm looking for any job. I actually contact him thinking it was a part-time job. I work on the basis that if you're earning more money than unemployment benefit, even if it's just a couple of quid more, even if after travel expenses you're earning a little bit less, it's still worth doing, because A, it gets you out there, and B, I really hate unemployment benefit. You have to prove to them what you're doing to look for work, and that's fine. That's what you should be doing. That's what an employer, I see it as a wage, and your job is job searching. But they always make you feel like, I could come in and go, well, I've applied for 100,000 jobs today. And they look at you as if to say, no, that's not enough. You've not made enough effort. And then you think, oh, they're going to stop my benefit claim. And that's how they make you feel. And of course, you've also got this problem. You don't really get holidays. Obviously, you should be searching all the time. But if you get a lot of no's, I remember when I was 2 years unemployed in Sheffield, I had letters every single day coming through the post saying, thank you for your application, unfortunately. So I was looking for the jobs and I was getting interviews, and I just got to the point where I'm going to the interviews and I'm just thinking, you're going to send me a letter. If I'm lucky, you'll send me a letter saying, thank you for your application, unfortunately. So why am I here? And of course, once you start thinking like that, that starts to come through with your attitude in the interview. And so now you don't interview so well. And it's, and it's really hard to pick yourself up and go, you need this attitude of, yes, I am the only thing you need for your company. But, that's the point it gets you to. But I'm sure there's might be one of you two watching who's unemployed and is searching so hard for jobs. And I think in the current time, I'm finding it's difficult. So, but yeah, so anyway, so I've gone so off topic, I can't remember what I was saying. So basically, yeah, I went for, basically it was a part-time, it was 2 days a week, which would earn me in 2 days more money than a week's benefit money. And I thought, well, that'll do. That'll get the bills paid. There won't be, it's a margarine rather than butter situation, but it's better to have margarine than dry bread. It's better to have bread, actually, than no bread. And the guy's messaged me back and he's like, yeah, well, we've got this going. And basically, he's, in a nutshell, he said, we can offer you more hours than you thought you were getting at a higher rate of pay than you thought you were going to get. And we really need people, so I can go there. And I think, oh, I've already got the job, haven't I? Because he's so desperate, he'll even take me on. So I didn't mean that the way that said. That was meant to be a joke. Right, guys, I'd like to thank everybody who is watching the show, and I'd especially like to thank the 9 people that have hung on all the way to the end. I applaud you for putting up with me for an hour and a half. Yeah, so thank you very much, guys. A big thank you to Smith's Beads, who are now sponsoring my show. I really appreciate it. And please show Smith's Beads a little bit of support. Have a look at their website. Use the code Penny10 to get 10% off. I mean, if you spend 45, I can't remember how much postage is, but if you spend about £35-45, that's free postage. I've heard people say, well, I don't like companies that charge postage. Well, we've already established on this show that is a fairer and more honest way of pricing, because if this company offers free postage, they need to perhaps put £1 or £2 on the cost of each item. So that means the more items you buy, the more you're actually paying for postage, but in a little disguised way. And now we've got an offer code of 10% off. You're getting your products cheaper because they're not having to add the postage onto them. And then you're getting your 10% off, which in a lot of cases could be the cost of the postage. at least have a look, guys. www.smithsbees.co.uk. Give them a look. If you don't buy anything, at least you give them a look. So take care, guys. I will see you all next week, I hope. And it'd be really nice if you could pop in on Friday when I'm doing my Spitfire. And I forgot to say, I've got a wonderful co-host who you will absolutely love. I absolutely guarantee it. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.